Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, host Jan. I hope you lot are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome to a video where I'm going to be talking about Chelsea Football Club. Okay, let's start that again. Welcome to a video where I will be talking about how Chelsea Football Club may have turned a corner and how everything's going to just be okay. Chelsea, of course, won 4-0 in the Champions League last night against Krasnodar. Yes, a weaker opposition, but we learned a lot in a short period of time against a weaker opposition. I want to talk about Frank Lampard's use of shape and formations and why perhaps we should revert to what seemingly was working well for Chelsea prior to these new signings. So strap yourselves in, boys and girls, enjoy yourselves, consider subscribing to Football Therapy where you get daily Chelsea Football Club content. And let me take a moment to remind you why you sitting there should be checking out the free platform OneFootball. Yes indeed, OneFootball gives you absolutely everything you need to know about the beautiful game and more specifically Chelsea as potentially a Chelsea fan. Shapes, lineups, formations, statistics, results, transfer news, everything keeps you plugged in, gives you alerts from your phone or indeed the website. OneFootball is totally free. I use it every day and you can too, my friends, simply by clicking the link in the top of the description to go check out OneFootball now and never miss a beat in football. Alright then, let's get into it. Deep breath in and out. Alright, let's get into shape, tactic, formation talk. Frank Lampard's Chelsea has been known as a very offensive and often defensively naive team, certainly from last season moving forward. We've been talking about the defense at Chelsea recently on videos and how that is seemingly sorted with the inclusion of Ben Chilwell, Thiago, Silva and of course Edouard Mendy. Chelsea's main defensive woes seem to be over because even if there is weak and vulnerable moments in transition, you've got the left back position covered now, you've got the leadership and tactical nous of Thiago Silva, and you've got what is seemingly an excellent goalkeeper in Mendy, who's very confident, commanding, and Chelsea fans are no longer constantly terrified. So that's nice. So where does that leave us going forwards? Well, after a super amount of players bought this summer, Frank Lampard's turned to a 4-2-3-1 formation. Now this is the shape Frank looks like he wanted to play at Chelsea from, last pre-season. The only pre-season we've ever played. When Frank Lampard arrived, he played a 4-2-3-1, and it kind of looked like this is the formation he wanted to go for and generally wanted to play at Chelsea. Didn't really work though. He resorted to a 4-3-3 and then sometimes a 3-4-3, and we got through last season quite well, finishing the top 4, reaching a cup final, generally outperforming people's expectations. But with the purchase of Kai Havertz, the super number 10, and of course Hakim Ziyech, who can play the number 10, Frank has reverted to this 4-2-3-1, which at times looks very, very exciting. A super attacking way of playing football. Now, basically, Kai Havertz is Chelsea's record expensive signing. He's an incredibly talented footballer, known for floating around the football pitch, finding space, combining with anyone he's near, scoring a lot of goals, and also driving the ball throughout the thirds. Great. It became evident that Frank Lampard does want to build his team around Kai Havertz, and this 4-2-3-1 kind of accommodates that, I suppose. For me, it's a little bit ambitious to go in straight away while he's still finding his feet in the team and building relationships and chemistry with his teammates to just throw it into that formation that can be vulnerable. Now, it's not all criticism because Chelsea have kept a clean sheet against Sevilla with a 4-2-3-1, a very good Sevilla team, so it shows it's not too defensively naive as a shape with this Chelsea side. And Frank Lampard's shown that they can keep a clean sheet against United with a back three, so they know how to defend as a unit, but I want to talk about the shape a little bit more. In theory, this 4-2-3-1 formation does build around Kai Havertz, but it also accommodates the idea of having 4 attackers on the pitch. Of course, Kai and the number 10, the 2 wide men, and the striker up front. And although they're playing in those formations, and yes, Kai is the most free, but there is a lot of interchanging from those 4 attackers, so the opposition find it difficult to pick Chelsea's forwards up. Makes sense so far, right? But then, sure, you have your back 5, including goalkeeper, and the double pivot to defend, but it can afford the opposition spaces in the midfield, and Chelsea can be overrun in midfield sometimes if their forwards are all at sea. Do you see what I'm saying? And Chelsea struggled against Krasnodar last night playing in this 4-2-3-1, and as soon as Frank Lampard switched to a 4-3-3, we scored 3 goals in relative quick succession, and it looked like Chelsea could have scored more goals. The 4-3-3 just looks so much better, not necessarily to do with the opposition, because sure they did okay on the night, but they're weaker opposition, man. It looks better for the Chelsea players and how they want to play. Kante was the CDM, and the two attacking eights were both Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. Sure, in theory the 4-2-3-1 offers you 4 attackers on the pitch, but if you really think about it, and it depends how Chelsea players play, with the 4-3-3, you can have 5. That's right, it can be even more gung-ho. If you think about it, Kante is really the only defensive player there, and with Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, you know, they're kind of playing as attackers, almost like number 10s. So, Mason Mount, right? People have forgotten how Mason Mount is an excellent 8. Like one of Chelsea's best players on the pitch when he's playing in one of these attacking 8 roles and not out on the wing or not as a number 10. On that left central midfield role, he makes Chelsea play so much better. Now, people got angry with, you know, Mason Mount playing on the wing. They got angry with Frank Lampard. He got loads of unfair abuse. But those same people need to remember, I mean, you should never abuse a player. I don't condone it. I think, you know, Mason Mount's been excellent for Chelsea. But everyone needs to remember how when he played in that left centre mid number 8 role, the whole team plays better. And because he's kind of workman-like Mason Mount, there is a lot of defensive work there too. If Kai Havertz can do that, then perhaps this is the midfield to move forward. Kante, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. You know, the likes of Kovacic and Jorginho will feel frustrated by that. But seemingly, you know, this works really well. And I think this is why Chelsea were looking at, you know, at Declan Rice to play in that CDM role, rotate with Kante, or, you know, maybe start over Kante, who needs to have a lot of rest at this time of his career with injuries, etc. The problem is, this formation no longer affords Kai Havertz the opportunity to run around like a free roaming number 10. Like in the 4-2-3-1, he literally would pop up anywhere on the pitch, look to combine, and the opposition can't pick him up because he's running all over the gaff. You know, maybe that's still the plan, maybe that's still the designs for Frank Lampard. But if not, you know, if we can't do it, we play the 4-3-3, and then Kai Havertz is a little bit more limited in that midfield. He's no longer a free roaming number 10, he's an attacking 8 who has to do a lot of work and basically be a bit more of a system player. Yes, it looks great, and yes, it has looked great last season, but what if Kante can't play? Do you just play Jorginho there as a lone pivot in a 3-man midfield? I mean, it works in a Sarri system. I'm not sure it works in Frank Lampard's football. I don't think you can play Kovacic there. I think Chelsea do want another CDM if they are to play this role. And we're not entirely sure if it will always work in the Premier League. But in terms of getting the best out of their players offensively, combining, moving forwards, attacking, to be honest, man, this 4-3-3 looks much better. You can keep the same front three. It's just a much more functioning, better midfield as things stand, with these current players playing that normal 3-man midfield with the CDM and the 2 attacking 8s rather than the two sitting in the double pivot and a free roaming number 10. Will Frank Lampard see it that way? I'm not so sure, but at the moment, personally, I think that's what Chelsea have to go for, and I think that's what will see them get much more high-scoring wins in the Premier League. The fact how they've got that new defence and goalkeeper, they could probably afford to take the risk of changing formations and trying to get the best out of the midfield, because that's how you're going to link the good defence to the good attack. And oh boy, Chelsea have a really good attack. So let me know what you think. Get down in the comment section below and talk to me about formations and who you would like to see starting for Chelsea. Also, I do want to plug, make sure you come follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on the platform. I'm always uploading videos of me playing guitar, music stuff, if you're interested in the musical side of Jan, because I am a music producer and musician before I became a YouTuber. You might dig it, and also I'm always doing funny football related videos, so come follow me at Football Yannick. That will be fun. And other than that, man, I'll thank you for subscribing if you want to subscribe, because we're close to 100k, and you know, daily Chelsea content, you might dig it. Just consider it, man. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out here on Football Therapy. I appreciate you all. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.